Hey Miss Gia and Miss Krista's class. Welcome to one of your history videos for this week. Right now we are going to check the results of your portrait quiz. So before you watch this video, you need to do the quiz by yourself, okay? You need to watch my video about portraits and do the quiz by yourself. This video now is to correct your quiz after you are done. I want you to use your brain and the information in the other video and answer these questions. So, if you are finished with this quiz and you have answered all 8 questions, then you can watch this video. Otherwise, no, pause the video and go and do the work. You can do it. You guys are very smart. Okay, let's begin. This first picture here, I'm going to put a little number 1. This one is not a portrait. It is not a portrait. Even though we have people and portraits can be of groups, we don't see any faces. We don't see anything that can help us recognize these people. So it's not really a portrait. It's a very nice picture, but it's not a portrait. Okay, let's look at this one right here with this beautiful woman in purple. This one is, yes, it is a portrait. So even though it's a picture, I know a lot of the portraits we have looked at have been paintings. Pictures can be portraits too. Think about when people talk about taking a selfie. Okay, those are portraits. You have a subject, a very clear focus on 1, maybe 2 people, and you see their face very clearly. Okay, so those are the key elements or the key characteristics of a portrait. So this one is definitely a portrait. Now let's look at this one. We'll call it number 3. What do you think? What did you write? Is it a portrait or is it not a portrait? This one is also a portrait. So we have a full subject, a full body, okay? Even though it's not just the shoulders and head, it's still a portrait because we can very clearly see their face and we have no one else in I think it's a painting. No one in the painting. So our eyes focus on that one person. We can call them the subject. Remember that word from the other video? The subject of the painting. Okay, now let's look at this next one. We'll call it number 4. Let me fix my 4. 1 second. Okay, number 4. What did you think? Is this one a painting? Is it not a painting? I mean, not a painting. Is it a portrait or not a portrait? This one is a painting, but it is not a portrait. So we do see some people, right? But can you see their faces very well? No, not really. So it's very hard to find the subject of this painting. There's not, like, look at the difference. Let's compare this painting here. This is a portrait. And to number 4. It's very, very different. Number 3 has a very clear focus. We can look at that painting and say, I know who the artist was looking at. But in number 4, it's very creative. It's a cool painting, but it is not a portrait. Okay, let's go down now to the next ones. So we'll call this number 5. Number 5, I believe this is pastel and charcoal, or maybe just charcoal, but we have this little boy. What do you think? Portrait, not portrait? It is a portrait, yes. So it's very close to your face, to his face, and we can see all the details of his face. We know who the main focus of this painting or this artwork is. We know it's about the little boy. So it's very clear to see he is the subject, he is the focus of the portrait. How about this one here with these men and women, lots of different colors? What do you think? This one is not a portrait. It's a very beautiful painting, but it is not a portrait. We don't see anyone's face here, right? There are no faces. It's all the back of their head. And there's not really one person that is the center or the most important. And that's what we need in a portrait. We need to have the subject of the portrait. So this one is not a portrait. And these last two, these are my favorite. Okay, so let's look at this one. This one is number 7. What do you think? Is number 7 a portrait? It is. This is actually, let me write this down for you. This is a self-portrait. Remember we talked about this in the video. A self-portrait is when you are the artist and you draw a portrait or you take a picture of yourself. For example, if you take a selfie, cheese. If you take a picture of your face, that is a self-portrait. Self, because you are the person taking the picture or making the art of you, right? So it's a self-portrait. And this one is actually cool because it's not a painting, it's not a picture, it's a mosaic. And we talked about this as well in the video, a mosaic. Remember, it's lots of little pieces of stone. In this case, it's lots of little pieces of stone. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see. You see here how it's all different pieces that are put together so it looks like a painting or it looks like a picture that you draw, but it's really little pieces of rock that he or she filled in to make this mosaic portrait. It's really cool. I like that one. And you guys can do this. You can take pieces of colored paper and make a mosaic portrait of yourself. Maybe you can take recycled materials and cut them small and make a mosaic. Yeah? And finally, number 8, another beautiful portrait. I really like this idea. Oh, I said it. What do you guys think? Is it a portrait or not? It is. It is definitely a portrait. We have one person from about their shoulders to the top of their head. Okay, very close. We can see who the subject is. All of the things that a portrait needs. Yeah? And this one's really cool because what they did, it was an art project in their school. So you print a photo of yourself on paper. You can ask mom or dad for a nice picture where it's close to your face. And then they each put it into 4 parts. So they took the paper and they split it into 4. And then in each little square, they decided to do different art with it. Here they did a collage, a mosaic with different pieces of paper. They colored in the face. Here maybe they used paint. Maybe here they used pastels. Here maybe they use markers. And so when it comes together, and Miss Gia can erase all of that, when it comes together, it's really cool. So you guys definitely can do this at home and make your own portrait with different styles. All right, so how did you do? Did you get all of the portraits that Miss Gia put in here? If you guys have any questions, if maybe you thought something was a portrait and it wasn't, or if you thought it wasn't a portrait and it was, you can let me know, okay? Send me a message, a video, maybe send me a pigeon with a little message on its leg. Whatever works. And I will see you guys tomorrow in Zoom. Bye!